Hello, hello. Good to be back. I didn't do my 2 live streams last week because I was doing the live masterclass, and that was fun. I actually wasn't going to do the masterclass live originally. I was just going to record it so that people could access it when they wanted on demand. But I just got this nudge to do it live, and so I did. That's part of actually what I talked about at the masterclass was when you're a high achieving woman, high performing, you have a lot on your plate, you're busy, lots of roles, responsibilities, you can get really stuck into action mode, you're a go-getter, and then sometimes when you get so stuck in action mode, go, 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 do, give, think, you lose touch with your body and your intuition. Not on purpose, but that's what happens. It becomes your default mode, right? Of staying stuck into action and trying to fix or control or figure out or manage or handle it all and hold it all together. And so your intuition, your connection with noticing and listening to and tuning into your intuition, that inner voice, and being able to notice your body and what your body needs, your own internal needs, it just gets falls to the wayside, right? And so I have been practicing noticing the nudge and honoring that for about, like, more intentionally so, for about 8 years or so now. That's when my reset process ish, my more formal reset process began for me. Now, of course, I've had many resets in my life, but this particular reset process that sparked this reset experience that's coming up in the fall sparked the reset book that some of you have, sparked the reset audio course, sparked all of this resets series that I'm able to offer now. It started around that 8-ish year mark ago when I wasn't in this place of burnout, but I was in this place of I'm not going to settle. Yes, life is good. Yes, I've done a lot. I have a lot of great things in my life. I look successful, right? I've checked the things off the list, but I'm not going to settle. And I'm going to talk today about women, working women in particular, who are experiencing either an awareness that you're headed to burnout, or this awareness that your current mode of operating is no longer feeling fulfilling, um, and isn't going to be sustainable because it's not satisfying to you. And I want to talk about this from the perspective of statistics. So I've been reading up on stats recently, specifically with regard to the working woman, the entrepreneurial woman, the modern day mom who is managing her marriage and motherhood and her mission and work. And so I want to share some of these stats with you. I share other stats related to this in the masterclass too. I definitely recommend you check it out if you haven't yet. But listen to some of these statistics, okay? Some of these are from a Gallup study, and some of these are from another study. I can drop the links to the studies below if you want them. But here's some statistics that I think we need. Let's be aware of these, okay? And see if you fall into these areas that they're talking about. And see if you don't, see if it doesn't click for you, or see if there's women in your life that look like powerhouse women and also may be falling in these percentages, and how that must affect them, how that must impact them. Send them my free masterclass. Like, let's put some of these pieces together so we can get a better understanding. So here's some of the stats. 51% of working women in the United States specifically report feeling stressed a lot or all of the day yesterday. So from reflecting on yesterday, I'm saying yes, I felt stressed a lot or all of the day yesterday. More than like 51%. So a little bit more than 50% of working women are saying that, right? And 42% of working women say their job has had a somewhat or extremely negative effect on their mental health over the last 6 months, which is more than men, a higher percentage than men that report that. And of course, that has a ripple effect, right? So if you're feeling stressed on a regular basis, you're feeling a lot of negativity towards your work, even if you like the work that you do, you're not enjoying it because of X, Y, or Z reasons, whether you are working in a challenging workplace or working with a challenging population, or you're growing your business and you're facing challenges in growing your business the way that you want to grow your business, whatever the case is, to feel that way more often than not is going to affect our body because our body is feeling that stress, right? But if we're disconnected from our body and we're not noticing how it's affecting our body, then that continues to spiral. That continues to accumulate and it continues to affect our body more and more and more. And so then we have to disconnect from it more and more and more, or pay attention to it. Those are the choices that we have, right? If we pay attention to it, we need to do something about it. If we don't do something about it, we're going to feel that disconnection even more. It feels like ultimately it feels like a self-betrayal. Like, that's a strong word, but it truly does feel that way when you've done this long enough. I know because I've experienced it in the past. It doesn't feel good to be in a space where there's a lot of negativity or a lot of stress more often than not. And sometimes because we're high performers, because we're go-getters, because we know we can handle a lot, we suck it up. We deal with it because we can, or because we think we should, or because we feel like there's no other choice because no one else is going to do all of the things that we do or take care of all the things that we take care of, so we might as well do it anyway, right? All of that's going to affect our well-being. And that's what the statistics show. We know that this increased negativity, increased toxicity, increased stress, it affects the well-being of us as women, of us as wives, of us as professionals, of us as moms. And it also can affect our ability to really engage and be present in the relationships that we really care about. We can't be okay with that. The relationships, think about the relationships that you really care about. Can we really be okay with letting them be negatively affected on a long-term basis, ongoing, chronically, constantly, on and on and on and on, because of stressors and negativity that's in our day-to-day lives, that's accumulating in the background more and more and more and more? We know it shows up in ways like burnout, in ways like disconnection, in ways like uncharacteristic irritability, resentment, frustration, anger. And then we get this, maybe you can relate to this, what's the word? That shiny object syndrome. I don't really like that term, but that's what I'm talking about. Or that grass is greener on the other side mentality that I talked about the other week. I was like, oh, well, this isn't feeling good here. And so it looks like they're feeling good there, or they're doing well there, or they're successful there. And so maybe if I just try to do what they're doing, then I'll feel better. And that makes us do things that actually aren't in alignment with us. It makes us buy things that actually aren't supporting us. It makes us think things that actually aren't serving us because we believe that someone else is having success with it. It doesn't, it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy that keeps on cycling and keeps women stuck, feeling more and more frustrated because you're doing things. It's not like you're not doing anything. You are taking action. You are putting forth effort. So why does it feel like you're kind of going around in circles? That's that stuck feeling. And it can be bearable. And so you can stick with it and stick with it and stick with it. It's not that bad. So you'll stick with it. So you'll stick with it until it becomes unbearable, until it becomes that bad, until the disconnection is so evident that you're like, I feel like I'm starting to lose myself. I feel like I'm already in burnout. I've crossed that threshold and now it's going to be even harder, right, to move out of it. So let's come back to the statistics to keep painting this picture. Women are more likely to have thoughts about work seep into their personal time with their family, with their loved ones, than men, than their counterpart. And the reverse is true, which means while women are at work, and this could be a senior executive woman, right? This does not discriminate on the level of tier that you're at. So I'm talking women in leadership, boss women, like CEO ladies, women that have their businesses going, right? Like strong powerhouse women that while they're at work, they're also feeling pressure from their personal lives to have to take care of all of that too while they're at work. And so the personal seeps in to the professional in such a way that can feel overwhelming or can feel intensely out of control, just like you're alone in it all because you have to hold it all. And so it can be hard, that balance that people talk about, to balance it all because it feels like it's all coming in and there's no way to separate it with clear boundaries. And these kind of daily seeping in of mental and emotional disruptions, because that's what they can feel like, they can feel disruptive, it winds up really causing more stress, which then affects our ability to be as focused, our ability to be as attentive, our ability to think as clearly, right? Because we know this, so much research supports that ongoing stress winds up affecting the way that our brains can function. It winds up affecting the way that we show up. It just does. We can't deny that. It's just, you can look at the evidence in your own life and see how that's happening, right? And so we want to bring our attention to this, not because we want to harp on it and finger point or blame or shame anyone or anything or any system, but because we need to bring attention to it so we can continue to work on this, so we can continue to see progress in this area. And progress isn't parity. I saw that in an article that I recently read. Progress is being made. We are making progress. And also, there's still more progress. There's still more progress to be had, right? So women who strongly agree that they're able to maintain a healthy balance between their work and their personal commitments, they're actually 50% more likely to report that they feel like they're thriving in their lives. And they're more than twice as likely to be engaged, meaningfully engaged at work. They're 38% less likely to get stuck in that shiny object syndrome or that grass is greener syndrome where they're looking at other people's circumstances or conditions for happiness. Let that soak in. Balance, work-life balance, work-life integration, whatever you want to call it, it's not about figuring out how to juggle every single ball in your life all at once. It is not about figuring out how to walk that tight wire as seamlessly as possible. I'm going to do a different live on what balance actually is and how we can redefine it in a way that is healthy, in a way that is supported by the universe and by science and by psychology. We're not going to dive into that today because I'll get on my soapbox and it'll take us in another direction that I don't want to confuse this conversation. But let's put a pin in that and maybe you can explore, what balance is, what is balance for me then? And what do I want balance to be? How could I redefine balance for myself? Maybe that's something that you want to explore for yourself because I think it's a very valid and important question. And so if we continue with these statistics, women are more than 3 times as likely to have to address things like unexpected childcare issues that might arise while they're at work. Which means even if they get themselves in the zone and they're really focused, and I know you excel at what you do. You're a boss lady, you're an amazing leader, you are really good at what you do, you're great at your craft, right? So you're in your flow, and then boom, something happens with the kiddo. You get the call. You're expected to take care of it. And here's the double-edged sword. Yes, we are more than 3 times more likely to be expected to handle that unexpected. And also, we want to be the first call. It's both, right? If my child is having an issue or there's a childcare issue, I do want that call. I do want to know. And also, the expectation that it's all on me can feel really heavy and contribute to the mental load in a way that's unhelpful, unhealthy, and not sustainable. So what do, right? We need to explore this. We need to unpack it so that we can make this a feasible, sustainable solution in a way that doesn't cause us to feel like we're losing a sense of our identity or our autonomy or our ability to be the present moms and professionals that we want. We need to redefine what this balance is, and we need to redefine what success really is for ourselves as working women that are navigating so many roles and responsibilities and aspects of our lives. And that means tough conversations need to be had, and honest conversations with ourselves, I think, need to be had too. In fact, I know they need to be had. I've had to have them with myself many times. Working women with children are roughly twice as likely as their male counterparts to report having considered reducing their hours or leaving their jobs altogether because of childcare issues or declined or delayed promotions or anything like that. And so, because of parenting needs, women are feeling that pressure to change their professional work in some way, to say no to promotions they may have been pursuing for many years, to delay promotions that they may have been pursuing for many years, to put off their professional dreams of growing this business or doing this thing that they may have been pursuing for many years and have worked hard for so long because of parenting needs. And how does that sit, right? So am I okay with that or am I not? And some women will be okay with that, and some women will not because they feel like they are betraying or losing a sense of themselves. It's not the same. This isn't cookie cutter, but we need to be aware that you as a woman are multifaceted. And if we can take our time with exploring and noticing each of those different facets of you, we actually can help align them in such a way where you're feeling purposeful, this sense of purpose in all of those different aspects, even if it's looking a little bit different in this season than it was in last season, or looking a little bit different in this season than it will in the next season. More than 1 in 3 women that are employed full-time express that they feel a misalignment between their preferred work style, so their preferred work setup, and what their actual work arrangement is. And so some women are noticing that this misalignment is happening in their schedule and otherwise. But when you're feeling like you're noticing it and yet you can't do anything about it, you get that stuck feeling, you get that trapped feeling, right? And this mismatch really can end up resulting in increased stress, increased frustration, increased relationship strain, lower engagement at work and or at home, harder to focus, right? Coming back into those stress effects that happen in our nervous system, in our brain and body when it continues to compile and we're not actively intervening to help reduce that stress and come up with a sustainable, solid solution that is customized to you. I could go on and on with these statistics, but we're already at almost 20 minutes. So we'll come back to some of these statistics in a later live because I do think that they're helpful to paint the picture, and also for working women to know that you're not alone. You want to grow yourself personally. You want to grow yourself professionally. You want to be the best parent that you can be, knowing that you'll be imperfect, but you still want to strive to be the best parent you can be. You want to enjoy your intimate relationships. Of course, you want all of these things. And the conventional wisdom and definition of what success and balance is supposed to be does not make space for that to happen, which means we need to intentionally create space for that to happen. It's not going to happen by default. So if this is resonating with you at all, we actually dive a little bit deeper into some of this, the spectrum of fulfillment and a bunch of different things in the free masterclass. The recording is live and loaded. It's up and available. You can register in the link below. I'll put it down in the comment section, and then you can gain access to that free masterclass. It's a limited time access because it is a value-packed masterclass. This is not some fluff, irrelevant stuff that's just going to sit there and not do you any good. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to sign up for the masterclass, tune in, set aside some time in your schedule to tune in, listen into it, and share it with another working woman in your circle that you know is a powerhouse, has a lot on her plate, and wants to continue to grow in her own professional success, but not at the expense of her personal wellness and her personal relationships, that we can, bring all of that together. So I'll see you at my next live. If you have questions, drop those below. I'm always grateful when you all tune in, when you ask questions, when you engage, when you comment. Thanks so much for sharing this space and sharing your time with me.